everyone, welcome back to my channel. This week I wanted to look at some of the mistakes that people make after a breakup. I've had many messages about this recently. Maybe the lockdown's getting on top of all our couples, and that's why I wanted to do most of my videos recently on relationships, because that's what you guys been wanting. And breaking up with someone is never easy. But some of the mistakes that people make will not allow them that time to heal and get over it. So all they're doing is just keeping themselves back from their growth and their potential and just reliving what happened. So I'm going to just discuss some of these mistakes and some tips to help you guys do things in a different way that will help you get over this breakup and understand how much is really holding you back. If you haven't been to my page before, welcome. I'm Hamasa, and on this corner of the internet I look at emotional and mental well-being, as well as just day-to-day issues and personal development. So please subscribe to my channel so you're up to date with my content. So let's dive straight into it. Breaking up with someone, of course, is never ever easy, because once you get with someone and you make yourself vulnerable and you let your guard down and you fall in love and you look at forever, and then when that's taken away and that betrayal is out and that hurt is out and that disappointment's out, you really start questioning yourself and where you went wrong, which is obviously a common mistake people make. But before I get into that, the one thing that I've repeatedly said before, and I will continue saying, is the no contact rule. That is the one thing that really will help you get over that relationship or that situation or that person. And the way to do it is to cut them out. Now, I understand that if you've been married to someone or that you're co-parenting, then that's not really an option. You can't never speak to them again. But for those of you that can cut the person out, then my advice is please do so. But the common mistake that people make is to keep that door open in the hope of that person might come back, or wanting to be friends, or trying to keep in touch. And what that does is that it holds you in the same place that you were before without the labels. You are still making your partner feel comfortable enough to know that you're still going to be there for them. So why should they continue with the commitment, with the labeling? They're still getting what they want from you, but at the same time, if you want to question that, you technically can't, because you're not their official partner anymore. And the second thing is that when this person then starts love bombing you, which they do, not only you will get abuse amnesia, which is forgetting what it was really like and just holding on to the good memories, but also you've kept that door open for a reason. So the minute they show you some kindness and love and start love bombing you, then you're weak and you're falling back into that pattern. So what's the point of going through that emotional heartache to then go through it all over again? Because this is then temporary. You guys decided to break up. You've made a choice. So to hold on to that, all you're doing is just giving yourself a temporary high, but not allowing yourself to close that door and move on. And that's what the problem is. For those of you who have been strong enough to stick to the no contact rule and apply it, the problem is that you give yourself very unrealistic expectations of the emotions that you're going to feel after this breakup. And you've got to stop being so hard on yourself, because you've got to look back at the relationship and realize that you probably went through emotional abuse, psychological abuse, gaslighted. You were probably made to blame. Your confidence and your self-esteem is probably shattered. You've been betrayed. You've been cheated on. So, whether that was a marriage, like a long-term 20-year commitment of your life and time, or whether it was a couple months or couple years relationship, whatever that is, if you've broken up with them, it's because you've been pushed to the brink of you needing to walk away. And so, most probably, these things happened within the relationship. And you can't just get over that just like that because you've cut them off and start getting on with things and being normal. You will go through this emotional ups and downs, And that's okay. But the issue is that every time you feel down, that doesn't mean that you're weak or you're back to where you started or that you need to get back in touch with them. It just means that you have to give yourself time to understand all the abuse that you went through, and that each of those things will take time to rebuild and work on. But like I always say, you've got to feel it to heal it. This kind of brings me to my next point, that these wounds go way deeper if your partner then jumps ship quickly and moves on. So this feeling of, I dedicated my time and effort, I thought you were who you wore a mask throughout this relationship, or whether your partner is pretended to be something that they're not, and then you're seeing their true colors, or they turn around and said to you, I never loved you, I should have never married you, you weren't the one, this is what I want, and I'm going to move on. Those words and those feelings and emotions are more so magnified if your partner moves on quickly, because it's like in your head somehow that confirms all the doubt you had about yourself, or all the insecurity, or all the lack of self-esteem that you felt. Is like, oh, there is the proof, this is what my partner said and did, so that proves that this is what I must, and those things you weren't aware of, so this proves what I must have been feeling, or what I must have thought about myself. The issue is that when these things become evident to you and you weren't aware of what was going on behind your back or right under your nose, then that really breaks you down. That would really, really hurt, and it would really destroy how you think and feel about yourself. And if you don't deal with those things and face them and feel those emotions and throw yourself back into trying to get one back at them, meet someone, oh, if they've moved on, I want to move on, I want to find someone else, then all you're doing is building up bitterness, lack of trust, lack of respect for yourself. Your self-worth and value is completely distorted, and you're now bringing that into the next relationship. So the mistake here is that people always feel the need to compete or rush. Just because they've done this doesn't mean that that's right for you, or that this is what necessarily will make you feel better, because you're concerned about them, not how you're actually feeling and what you need, which is the time to heal, digest, feel, face it, and build on it and learn from it. And obviously, if you're feeling this low, then you start judging yourself, which is a huge mistake to make, because again, you weren't aware of these things, so you're only just becoming aware and dealing with it and facing it. So judging yourself or putting yourself down for this, or just the minute, 3-4 months down the line, you get that phone call and all the emotions come rushing back, or that you fall back into feeling low and going through these emotions, you're not doing anything wrong. This is just emotions, and you have to go through them. And you're going to have good days and bad days. I think one of the other mistakes that most people make, especially nowadays with social media, is that they start obsessing over their partner. So it's checking stuff, Googling it, searching, looking at what they liked, who they follow, what they're doing. When you obsess over someone like that, and you're trying to figure out who they are and why they did what they did, and by following them and trying to figure out their every move, is because you're trying to make sense of really what happened and where did it go wrong, because you can't accept that. You're trying to find someone to blame. But you need to understand that no matter how many boxes you put this person in, it's, if you don't work on yourself and flip the coin and look at the things you've learned from it, this is not really going to help you, protect you for your future. This is not really going to benefit you. Yeah, fine, you figured them out, or you feel like, oh, why they did what they did, and this is the justification. Okay, great. You've got those answers. But how is that really helping you move on, or in your future relationships? So instead of doing that, also what happens is when you can't find someone else to blame, that kind of flips and you start blaming yourself. Again, that's not really benefiting you. When that happens, you need to just look at yourself, because that's the only person that you have control over. So when you start obsessing over your partner, you're losing control over your life. And you need to bring that back, because the only person you have control over is yourself, your mindset, your thoughts, your emotions. So work on that. That's what you can change. So what did you learn from that? You really need to see all the positives that you've learned and all the negatives that you've learned, and what you could take away for future relationships, rather than wasting that energy on your partner that's gone to get some answers. Those answers are irrelevant, because what's done is done. Those answers are not going to elevate you. What's going to elevate you is you learning from this and applying it to yourself, so that these things don't happen to you in the future. When I keep saying learning about yourself, I don't just mean learning about the things in a relationship and what you should be doing about future relationships. You need to look at yourself as a whole, as a person. Because some of the things that you will learn about this relationship would then really help you understand your strengths and weaknesses as a person, as an individual, and your standards and your boundaries. The next mistake that people make is looking at this relationship as, I'm never going to find someone like them. I was so comfortable, I let my guard down, I was so loving and happy and open. I will never feel that discomfortable with someone else. So, I'm broken and I'm upset and I can't handle this, because no one's going to replace this comfort that I felt with my partner. But instead of looking at it like that, how you can take away a lesson from this is by looking at how loving and capable and caring and open you have the potential to be. And if you could be like that with the wrong partner, imagine how you would feel when you're giving that and that's reciprocated back to you from the right partner. So rather than looking at it, I'm never going to be this comfortable with someone again, is that I have this in me to get to that level of comfort with someone. And that's a great thing. And that's a beautiful thing. And I'm going to learn from that and know that someone who deserves it, I can give all of this to them. It's no good throwing yourself into something to try and get over this and making yourself busy and calling people and being in touch and being out and about when the world allowed us to, if your mindset isn't ready. Because regardless of where you are, your headspace is not going to let you be in the moment and enjoy what's going on around you or be present with your friends. So your mindset is very, very important for you to get a hold of, to get control back. So if you set your mind on just continuously dwelling on the negative, on the bad things, then it'll take you down the rabbit hole and you're just going to stay stuck there. Now, you're watching this video because you want to get over this person and you want to move on. And in order to do that, you cannot keep going down that rabbit hole and getting yourself in this mindset of what you could have done better. So mindset is everything. And lastly, if you've been married and you put your time and effort into this and it didn't work out, or if you've really fallen in love with someone and gotten into a relationship with them and it didn't work out, it doesn't mean that that's the only person in the world out there for you. Unfortunately, life isn't easy and we go through ups and downs and we get thrown curveballs left, right, and center for us to learn and grow. And sometimes those lessons come in a very, very harsh way, in a very, very harsh situations. And sometimes that's essential for us to learn from. Otherwise, we never would. Maybe we need to learn it in a hard way for it to impact us the way that it needs to, so that we are reaching our potential. It's not always going to be cute, pretty little lessons wrapped up in a bow. Sometimes they're going to be hard life lessons, and you just have to go through that to come out of it the better, more stronger, more resilient and wiser you. So take it as that not every person or every situation that comes our way is supposed to be there for life. There are people and things that come our way to really teach us about ourselves and to really make us understand how the world works, how we work. And you can use that energy and concentrate on all the things that went wrong in the past, or you can use that energy and put it towards the future and make yourself happy. Happiness is a state of mind. So at any given moment, you have a choice whether you can make happiness your mission or continue to dwell on what's happened or what went wrong. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. it is quite a lot to digest, I know, but I feel like breakups are things that you just want to constantly talk about because you're feeling this hurt and you just cannot make sense of it. And that's okay, it's all part of the motions. So this is why this video is a little bit lengthy, that I just want you guys to know that everybody goes through these and it's okay. You know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And hopefully you will take great lessons from what you're feeling right now. Join me next week for another video. Please like and comment on this one, subscribe to my channel, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Mwah.